guys
Yeah.
closed the nail part up. Y'all closed it due to
Oh.
the hole in that what you call it, the protocol. You're not
Mm-hmm.
coming into our world. You that, but we as cosmetologists, we left it the door wide open because we give out so much information for the
Mm-hmm.
influencers. You have how many influencers do you know that's into aesthetics?
Mm. I
Very
don't
Right.
know a
few.
lot. Mm-mm. I
How
know
many
some.
you know influencers into nails? Very
Mm-hmm.
few.
Right.
But how
Right.
many influencers you know? Every celebrity got a
Mm.
shampoo. Every
Yes.
celebrity got some scalp oil. Every
Mm-hmm.
celebrity got this. Every celebrity
Mm-hmm.
got that. But
Right.
how many celebrities has a skincare or nail product line?
Mm. Not many.
Not
No.
No.
many. Because
No.
we open the door for consumers to eat
Mm-hmm.
off our table. And then we're
Mm-hmm.
wondering why we getting the crumbs because we
Mm-hmm.
done left it for the consumers to eat
Mhm.
the meat. Now we basically run around trying to get the crumbs. Like we can't find no clients. You gave the meat. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
we gave the meat, so
Mm-hmm.
how we gonna take the bread back off, sweep the crumbs back off the table, stop telling everything for real.
Right.
And
Stop
Right.
selling everything.
and
I
selling
mean,
everything.
soon as you learn it, you trying to sell it. I'm
You
like,
can if you learn how
Mm-hmm.
to do one braid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm an educator. I'm gonna do this class.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how to do one braid. You know how to do some bantu knots. And now
Mm-hmm.
you teaching your clients how to take care of their girls' hair. What sense
Yep.
that make? Duh.
Right. It does not. You're gonna work
So
yourself
now
out of a
guess what?
job.
Mama don't need to come to the shop no more because you just taught her how to braid her four girls' hair.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But you want to be the influencer. You want to be have that brand. Oh, I taught this. I taught that. You taught yourself out of a whole family of
Mm-hmm.
income.
that's it.
Of now
Yes.
they at home doing their own
Exactly.
hair.
Right.
Yeah. Because
Right.
everybody want to be the teacher. Everybody want to be the teacher. You teaching the
Mm-hmm.
people that you serving.
Mm.
And it is so much education out there that what I find is when individuals come to school to get a license, the hard sell is the anatomy, is the infection control, the
Yes.
chemistry. It's almost like not that you're begging them, but I'm really holding them to say this is how you get your license. Yes, it is
Yeah.
great that we have a whole lot of nail art stuff, but we only have so much built into our content because you only need 300 hours. And so we're stealing time to add in these different modules,
Hmm.
whereas a lot of individuals already have a pretty decent skill set, but the why.
The
And then
why?
they don't have that. And then when you've got to really bring it to them and say these are our modules, this is our curriculum, then it's almost like a pull. Like I have to
Yes.
pull this, I got to
Yes.
sell this to
Yeah.
you. I got to work
Yes.
harder than you to get you
It's,
where you want to be. And so I have to do better with like the open houses and the marketing, but I don't want to scare people away either. I don't want to
yes.
scare them away because
Hmm.
you only need a 75. However, we've got to be very, upfront, and we are because everybody, can say, I'm
Yeah.
going to do it. I saw this other person do, I'm doing it. I'm in, y'all. But it's like, we got,
Right.
did you, yeah, you see
Yeah.
where I'm
But
going?
when you get in, do you really
Yeah.
want?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a live this morning and you said the same thing that I said because so many students come to school and they have been self-taught. They taught themselves how to do nails. They taught themselves how to braid. They taught themselves, how to
Hmm.
curl hair because they watch YouTube. But then
Mm-hmm.
once you get into the anatomy, understand, okay, yeah, you can braid, but why are you braiding it like that?
Mm-hmm.
Why does that nail you don't see the lunar? Why you don't know
Mm-hmm.
the anatomy of the nail? And it's a
Yes.
pull, like you said, it's a pull because all they want to do is skim through state board. Oh, I
That's
Mm-hmm.
made a
it.
70. Do I have to take the test again?
Mm.
Yes, you need to take this test again to get at
Yes.
least a 75 or a 80, even
That's
though
right.
state board only requires 70. We want
Oh.
you to get 75 or 80, at least
Mm-hmm.
have to think that you
Mm-hmm.
obtain
Getting
some
a safe
information.
Right.
Instead
Yeah.
of scheming to the 70, you just guessing. But if I know you
Mm-hmm.
can get an 80 and 100,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in there, you're going to retain some information on that theory. And
Mm-hmm.
once they get past that,
Mm-hmm.
now you can incorporate what you learn with your art. You better
Mm-hmm.
off sustaining, longevity. Because if that
Mm-hmm.
client nail get disrupted, she going to somebody that practice sanitation or
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
practice a healthy nail. And the
Mm-hmm.
first thing she gonna say is, I've been going to this girl and but she don't know anything about healthy nails. She don't know anything about healthy hair. Well, now you got to pick up. You just lost a client because
Mm-hmm.
all you did was camouflage the art. And
Mm-hmm.
we try, like here at our school, we try to instill more theory than
Mm-hmm.
art.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you
Yes.
can never pick up another brush, long as you got a
Yeah.
mouth, you can
Mm-hmm.
talk and teach a class. But if
Yes.
all you know how to do is go to the store and go to Hobby Lobby and
Mm.
get some art glitter,
Yeah.
mix it up, now you're selling your stuff, but you don't know the ingredients that might be allergic. You don't know
Yes.
anything what these ingredients consist of. Based
Yes.
off of that, you don't know. Go like my client, my student, I'm gonna go make some oil. I sell some oil. I sell some oil. I sell some oil. I
Mm-hmm.
said, how many, who all did you do a test run on?
Mm-hmm.
Who did you do a test run on to
Right.
see
Mm-hmm.
how it works? Did you send any to Missouri? Did you send any to
Right.
Hooplos,
Mm-hmm.
Alabama? Did you send any to Chicago?
Right.
Besides here in Alabama, so your oil is only gonna work in the
Yeah.
climate that you're in.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
No, so you
Mm-hmm.
can't just sell it. Why are you gonna? What's the cause? It's gonna make your hair grow.
Yeah.
Hair grow. I could put some water on my scalp, my hair gonna grow.
Right.
Mhm.
The
But
Right.
oil
we
is
have
gonna.
the same thing too, because we study ingredients, but this is what I tell them. Don't go making something because you have seen how this looks on YouTube and you say, "Oh, I got these ingredients, it's going to do that." But I need you to understand all of those ingredients. Can
Yes.
you give me the contraindications? I need
Mm-hmm.
at least 10 right now, today. 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know what? They can barely spell contraindication.
yeah. No,
Mm-hmm.
no,
I
no. What does
know.
that mean?
Right.
They don't have it. And I was like, you cannot perform the service. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
so I catch that a lot. You cannot perform the service.
Right.
It is. It
You
is.
really shouldn't be doing any services if you're doing. And so
That's
I
right.
find that I have to do that a lot. And I
Mhm.
know when they walk out, they can do whatever they want to do. But while they're in with me, maybe when
Yes.
they get ready to do what they're going to do, that little sound says,
Mm.
Right.
maybe
Right.
I shouldn't even be doing this.
Right.
And
Yes.
I told my student, I said, we're dedicated to state board prep.
That's
This
right.
week is state doing something. She said, oh, we got to do that at state board.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
gotta do it
Yes.
at state board. And I said, and you better listen, because once you're out of here,
Mm.
I was a little mean. I was being a little meanie. But once you're out of here,
Mm-hmm.
there's no coming back in and can
Right.
you run me through this? Can I do this? In 2025, we're not doing that anymore.
That's right. That's right.
Because that runs you raggedy. I needed you to pay attention at the time to pay for. Graduate
Yes.
and everything is you got the job on the line, but you got to pass tomorrow. I'm not going to
Mm.
be doing everything I say is valuable. So you need to be hanging on to everything that comes out of my mouth.
Yes.
That has been our biggest thing is them wanting the cake with the decorations without learning how to make it.
Yes. Yes. We are just not alone because that echoes here in Wisconsin, because you want so much for individuals. And It just really is the truth. Even like we have a whole week for state board prep and we get ready for that week. And even, printing out all the material, all the laws, putting it in their hands physically, reading it word for word, getting on Zoom for 4 hours. Everybody has a piece of the pie. And so it really is. I think it's just about wanting it. And I say, I want you to, focus on being in school.
Mhm.
Don't figure out how you're not going to be in school.
Mhm.
Stay
Mm.
here, come here. This is where you need to be at. you know, it
Mhm.
is I think we all are feeling the same thing. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes I guess you can when I really have had that
Oh,
title for a
on the
while.
phone.
When you talk about the hard chew, people see the fun stuff. They see what they want to see, but they don't see what you have to deal with on the other side. So even with the educators that are coming through the program, I said, look, this, this is my conversation this morning in class.
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem when you have a problem when my coach
Yes, way.
blurs the line
Mm.
professionalism with the student.
Mm-hmm.
Not come in here trying to
It's like, come
appease
on.
everybody.
Mhm.
I
Mm-hmm.
need that strong authoritative figure, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can also learn to manage them without blurring the lines.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been something I've just been talking to them about because I love the educator. I'm like the educator's cheerleader, but I can't cheer for you when you're not managing well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
and that has been my thing too. And in Tennessee, we are in desperate need of
Literacy.
instructors.
Really? Yeah.
COVID came and they retired.
Mm.
Technology was a major boost. So that
Mm-hmm.
forced a lot of people out because they had never adopted updates on technology.
Mm.
And for me, I would love to have a very seasoned veteran
What's
on
that?
my staff,
Bye
but
bye.
Mm-hmm.
See y'all too.
I tell them off the gate, if you don't know technology, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Half of my
Mm-mm.
program is 50% online.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now, do you use Milady? Do you use Pivot Point? Do you use something different?
So, yeah, right now, I have a love hate relationship with Blake. I
Mm-hmm.
love the education side that you write for them, but that customer service side,
Mm-hmm.
you're not valuable experience. I don't like that from a lady. And
Mm.
so I am courting pivot point. That's literally where I am. I've been praying about going, and I think I'm
Yes.
going that way
Yeah.
next year. But
And I did it.
I've
So I'm
loved
in.
writing for them, but it's
Mhm.
a time to grow.
I
You're in pivot point.
definitely I use Pivot Point now. So I'm in my second class with Pivot Point for nails. When I was teaching in tech college, we
Mm-hmm.
use the salon fundamentals. But I love like the visuals and I love how diverse Pivot Point is. But it is
Uh.
literally 8 books. So it took a minute for me to be able to figure that out. How do I introduce these books? And and I could
Oh
take
wow.
some of the yeah. And so really they have some great like technical assistance and things of that nature. And so the Miladies, 2 books going from that to these 8 books, they're smaller, but
Mm-hmm.
they're so new and relevant. So the
Mm.
information is right, it's up to date. And
Oh
Miladies was
wow.
pretty up to date. So I really am enjoying it. And as I grow into it, I went to the study guide as well because what I found was because we have the online package with Milady. But what I
Mm-hmm.
found is answering the questions off site, doing your
Mm.
work off site. Sometimes people would fake the game. They would fake the funk and act like they did it, and then go back and
Mm.
change it. So then I started to kind of make it so you could only answer the questions once, and that yeah, that didn't really work out well, but I had to really figure out that space. So I think the pivot point community and
Mm-hmm.
having the study guide is kind of old school. It's brand new, but it really forces individuals to write. It forces them to, even if you're just
Yeah.
taking the information from the small vignette books and putting them in your study guide, at least you saw it 2 times. And so we only need 300 hours. And so, like
Right.
maneuvering
You start
that,
to
it
remember.
really has been, it was a challenge at first, but I kind of got through it. And then Dariah gave me some, some advice, like you got to really sit down and you got to sit with it. And
Yeah.
so, because she's doing Pivot Point as well. So I really like it. And there is a maintenance fee every month. I think it's like $100 a month because I'm using the platform. But every class I get better and better with it. So I like it. And they have their own
Just
nail art book as well. So you could just buy the separate books if you needed to teach like different classes. It doesn't even have to be, with the school content. You could have like standalone classes and use
oh
that.
wow.
So I really like that about it, but I'm still getting kind of used to it. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm going back to Milady. But I know Milady is on for nails, it's on Amazon as well. So, and I always shop at Milady.
Mm-hmm.
But I see, and I guess nothing wrong with being on Amazon, but it just really I still have some
But
seats.
yeah,
I
you
use
know,
Pivot Point as well, and this is what I require my students to do. They have to do the physical on a workbook. They
Okay.
also have to input the workbook in Pivot Point in lab, and then also they have to show that book to me, and I give them a check off grade for it. So it requires them to do it at least 3 times. And I feel like at 3 times, you should at least be comprehending half of that information.
Yes.
Because you're writing it, you're typing it, and then we're going over it in class as well. So, and then too, if you just look at the layout of Pivot Point, the book, lab, the workbook, all the chapters, it's repetitive, but it's auditory and visual. I mean, it's just great. Like if you just look at it just from front to cover, it's a great put together resource for you.
It is. So you know what? I don't have the lab. Like I didn't get the lab package. And then I talked to, because I bought like 40 books. I bought 40 units because I wanted to have them and just not need to order them, even though we're right in Wisconsin. I think they're in Ohio or something. They're Midwest, so they come the next day. However, I didn't get the lab, but now I talked to the sales rep and she's like, we can add the lab on for a very small price, because I think that might be the missing piece. But what I would struggle with is the technical capacity of my student population. Not everybody, but some individuals need more, like coaching and developing with the online platform, and even having access to like a computer, because that's not, or a tablet is not built into our program. Everybody has a smartphone. So really, I'm gonna invest in some of the labs as well.
Yeah, I think lab is really great. If you do online hours, it'll calculate those as well. So which is really good. So all of my work, my online is lab.
Now that's good.
I
Is
don't do
it
any
hair?
Zooms, anything aesthetics.
Okay. Now see, that's good to hear. Now I have some, because that's why
I
I
like
just
that.
I put them in the study guide. I'm like, well, because the going online and, just playing around with it in Milady, it was getting kind of frustrated, because when it's time for you to, regurgitate what you have retained, it was challenging for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's good. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
And I also have them to follow along because the workbook goes hand in hand with your PowerPoints. And so they can actually fill out their workbook while in class if they listen.
Yeah. That's
so
good.
It keeps them on their toes with listening and writing, and then they can go back and transfer it into lab.
Oh, how many hours is your program?
600.
Oh Lord.
How many days you online, or is it?
So they're online by anytime. They can be online anytime. Yeah.
So it's not. Yeah, it's not didactic where you're there with like we are now.
Correct. I don't do any Zooms or anything like that. They're just online. They're working on. I'll sign the chapter, and they'll come when they come in. we'll do a test on the chapter.
Yeah.
And so they'll have a weekly test.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And you have the study guide, the exam prep book as well?
No, I don't even have, I don't do, and that's another, this is what I've been struggling with getting the exam book, because so many people know My Lady for the exam. And most of the students buy this stupid esthetician app or whatever. And I shouldn't say stupid, that's probably bad. But
no,
I
just told somebody to get in your book and get off.
I said you just paid, and I'm real. You just paid $500 for a book that has everything this app's going to teach you in this app for $10 a month. Why would you do that? Doesn't make sense to me. You have the book. So, but
yeah, it was a young lady that had some state board questions, and she put it in the esthetician group. Hey, my teacher just gave me this, but I don't see none of this on the app. Is she supposed to be doing this? I said to myself, dummy,
right.
Why would you come to a community? And I put in the group, your teacher is doing her job. And for your state, you will have state board questions. And the people who were telling her to go get other apps at $10 a piece, ma'am, y'all need to
when you have the resources.
And just right. It's right in front of you. I was like, why would you challenge your teacher because you didn't see it on the app? So you have more, loyalty to the app than what's coming out of the person that's in front of you.
I tell them like this. I said, can't you make your own Quizlet? So I said, this esthetician app is just that. It's just random questions that people have come and put on there, and they're charging you for it when you have the same information. You can just look at your lesson challenges at the end and make a Quizlet.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. Amazing. I wanted to the one thing, like we has talked a little bit about trade shows, but I wanted to do a letter. I wanted to do a letter from our group to trade show providers, because this has what happened. I would love to go to the show, but let's just take aesthetics. One of my school is aesthetics. The other one is Cosmo, which has a 50% virtual program. Okay. So when I see the advertisement, and I usually say, I am an aesthetic school mainly. We need more than microblading. We need actual skincare added to this, this menu of classes that you're going to offer. It's not just hair. And I find that my students are excited because it's the first time, but then when they start looking at the class list, they go, there's nothing for me. I can't sell that, because why would they come to a place and spend a whole lot of money for 2 classes? So it doesn't really make sense. So what it's forcing me to do is say, okay, do I jump in and create something? Because this has happened we're 5 years in. This has happened year after year after year. And one of my students said she wants to go to the skin games. When I look at that, I'm like, why would you put the professional level of training to go to the skin games? And the skin games is a competition. I just want to go and watch. I said, you're learning now. Right. It's just premature for you to go, because you would take that and you'll take it to state board, and that's not what we're doing, So finding them education, I had to take them to San Antonio, to Premier San Antonio. That's the closest one they could get to. And when I tell you, they were in all the classes, all the skincare classes.
Oh, wow.
They was like, it was the best. Even though we've been to shows before, and I was like, okay, it's okay. They were like, best thing ever. Because they're students and they had never saw that level of classes available to them,
Yes.
And so I'm like, man, you want to support local ones, but they don't listen as to what to, or they don't consult those who are in it, instead of just trying to sell to the schools, bring us on as advisors before you make that and see what they need to learn. That has been my number one thing. Even myself, I don't let a whole lot of distributors of people come in who sell stuff because it's not a give back to the school. You just take. I know my students, their pockets, it's a cash pay school. Most of them pay out of their pocket. It's a sacrifice. And anything that comes in, you're selling shiny, they're going to purchase. But there's no education behind it. And we don't see you again until you're selling another show. And I just said, I don't want that. They value who I put in front of them, and we can't have that unless you're going to invest in the school by bringing education. We're not going to be the ones that you could just come in and make a buck off of. That's been my thing. And my Gen Z students, they have videos, social media.
Yes.
You're going to do the shows, you're going to have to incorporate the people that they follow. I didn't like Warner Brothers impact of social media because I didn't think that the people they chose as influencers represented me or the industry. I feel like they're really ghetto, and that didn't represent me. So if you're gonna bring people in,
I've never been to Warner Brothers.
Oh, no comment. No comment.
Yeah, I've never been to Warner Brothers. I have not been to New York. I have not been to Warner Brothers. So that has to be on my list. But I love being at the shows because it feels so fresh. It feels so fun. It's a lot of excitement. And I really do. I really just love it. That's why I've had the booth for the last couple years because I really just love being there.
Yeah. I know.
And we've talked about that too.
Yeah. We did Brothers last year in February. Ma'am. Yeah, we talked about it. Now, you didn't go to said show in New Orleans.
Right.
But February was totally different from New Orleans. I couldn't even count 1,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and this is the sad part because especially in aesthetics, we already don't have representation, and it's worse that we don't have representation at our own shows. So I don't know how we're going to ever overcome that with the celebrity status thing that goes on.
Yeah, here's two things I did. I've been thinking about this for a while. We do have like IG influencers, right? But influencers are more so geared to training them to do all these kind of things that are under the umbrella that are not within the scope of practice of the average person. The average person with a standard license. So I now have a person that was coming to school for aesthetics, now trying to do body contouring, now trying to do IV hydration. I'm like, when are you going to concentrate on being a facialist? When are you going to concentrate on what you study? You're trying to be all these different things because you're going to all these advanced classes, but you have missed the foundation. And there are some major influences, but I guess I can weed people out, and I'm just saying, man, we're still missing the solid education of it. And I went to Dallas. I was a small group. Black and Brown was a small group of this aesthetics population. It was a lot of people at this show, but Black and Brown, very, very small group. There were no educators in the Black and Brown category.
Wow.
I had a problem with that because what that basically said, you don't trust the expertise of you refuse to acknowledge that this industry is growing. I'm talking aesthetics with Black and Brown, because in Tennessee, we're leading licensure in Black and Brown in
Wow.
orthopedics.
Wow.
We're leading in licensure. Within the last 5 years, I have probably graduated hundreds of students, Black and Brown, in aesthetics.
Wow.
So, and I have seen many of my colleagues across the country that look like me that have open schools. There's a shift. It's
Yes.
already here.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. It's true.
Already here, but there are brands. Yeah, there are brands that are refusing to acknowledge that there's a shift. You know, so I'm like, I want to go to a show and get sound education. Naya does amazing microderm, micro needling courses. I want to stop it. It's like, man, I know she know what she's doing. You know, but we don't. It's almost saying we don't know enough. Whereas I can go and sit in a class of a person that doesn't look like me. And the haircutting class, the guy had people out the door. And he basically said he's a TikTok sensation. And he was just, just doing a dance. And he said, right across, and everybody on the front row said, I was like, the double standard. He entertained, and you guys loved it. And we have to work so much and bring so much to the table, and you still make us overprove, what we're able to do. And so that's another reason why we have a community to help each other, because trying it another way was, I was getting no assistance, no even, why don't we talk about it?
My goodness. I think we might have frozen. Let me see.
Am I frozen?
Yep. I can hear you though. I can hear you. Oh yeah. You're good now.
Naya, you see me? Can you hear me? Okay. Oh, it says unstable. I wonder what's going on. Okay, let me show you guys something. And it's only like I want to hopefully have you guys a part of it. And I ran across some numbers, and this is why you have to be very careful about everything you're reading, even what you're getting from ChatGPT, because I ran across some analytics, and it said during COVID that all the schools shut down. All the schools did not shut down. It said that our industry, as far as beauty schools, a lot of beauty schools shut down. I say a lot of schools were birthed because I lived it, and I'm just like, what area did a lot of these states shut down? Some,
right?
But for they were birthed, so so it's only about maybe 3 slides. Come on, ladies. Come on. And I love the get together type, things, but I think we have such a special thing in our group. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about what are we doing to just kind of bring some numbers to the front. There are 2 beauty brands that they are saying are making in 2024 that even a great profit, under 20% profit, but they cornered at millions of dollars. And we know a lot where that millions of dollars is coming from. It said Inpatient Group and Paul Mitchell. Yeah, and I'm gonna go here first. And so just me doing just research, Empire, one of the reports had Empire at $150.5 million for 2024.
Wow.
And Paul Mitchell at 139.6 million. And this is what I was telling. I got great news today. This morning, one of my students passed her aesthetics exam, and she called me super, super early and had so many technical issues. And I was just praying, Lord, let her pass, let her get her past these issues. And she passed. This,
Good.
this person, and I've been trying to study about eliminating barriers in the classroom, but this person is on the spectrum.
Mm.
And it really did something to my heart, because if she could do it,
Mm-hmm.
the things that she deal with, oh, you could do it too, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
that's my first student that's documented, that's adult on the spectrum, and
Mm.
literally passed a stud exam.
Wow. That's
Yes.
congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
That
Thank
is
you. And
major.
major in
Mm-hmm.
so many ways. And then
Yes.
one of my coaching clients, and this is something I don't do, but I helped her with her beauty school from scratch, and she got inspected today. She's open. And I only
Oh.
do that by referral. I'm a more so the inside person. So I
Mm-hmm.
tell people, go and read and figure it out and do it over there. Just come
Mm-hmm.
get me later. But so it was a good day at the computer. It was a good day. But when I
Yes.
was researching, trying to find the top schools, and it
Uh-huh.
said Empire and Paul Mitchell. I
Mm.
can tell you for a fact,
Mm-hmm.
these two have watched and built a lot of what a small school does, and they put it in their plans.
Mm. Okay.
I've had students from the Paul Mitchell school in Memphis to call me to purchase testing supplies and to need help for test out for a state board.
Mm. Mm.
And that tells me, okay, so I'm not intimidated by the numbers. I'm not jealous by the numbers, but that tells me, what are our schools doing? And I
Mm-hmm.
think we're really big in the inside, but
Mm-hmm.
we don't see nowhere near this dollar amount.
No.
Said that right.
Yeah. And I'm
Right.
saying, yeah, so my goal is I am going to put a fine eye on Empire Education Group and Paul Mitchell, because I can honestly say this: what are you doing right or wrong that I'm not doing? And
Mm-hmm.
if you're the blueprint,
Mm-hmm.
what can I pull from that blueprint that'll help my school?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
yeah, I just want to put some eyes on it. And honestly, they are not the most popular schools in the city.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Wow.
yeah, but they still, making probably still making 139.6 million. And a lot of
Wow.
that is brand recognition. And
Yes.
Yes.
their course is almost twice. I did one thing. The course is almost the Cosmo course for Paul Mitchell here is twice as much as mine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm in here thing, and I read an article that said schools are either at a value tuition or very high tuition, and the middle is struggling. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
the middle struggling. I thought 10,000 for Cosmo was kind of steep, but it's telling me I'm on the low end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on
Mm-hmm.
poverty end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Me
they're in
too.
Memphis is almost 21,000 for Cosmo.
Wow.
17 to 21,000.
That's about right.
Mm.
And I'm
Wow.
thinking, y'all, I'm at 10. And then if I do marketing scholarships like a promo, I may be at 8.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, on average, I may get 8,000 a Cosmo student. I'm really just paying the educator.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's
I'm not
true.
getting anything. So what do I say as a small school owner? And I
Mm-hmm.
know I have all of these different amazing things within this program, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm only getting 8,000,
But
so
are you accepting Title 4E or like the Pell Grants or financial aid?
so so here's the thing. I've
Mm-hmm.
never accepted that. And this is the first year, really the first quarter that I'm ever
Mm.
considering it.
Oh,
Same here, Destiny. Same
Yeah.
here. Same
yeah.
here. And
Yeah, my
it's
I
stuff
just
all
got,
gotta be
because of
cash pay.
numbers.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's all because of numbers.
all
You
because
know,
of the numbers.
yeah, I'm looking at just different new schools opening up and
Mhm.
and we
Mhm.
was probably like the first to coin doing advanced education in our regular program. Now everybody's saying that. And
Yeah.
and this is the thing about it. I know that they're paying attention to me
Hmm.
because they're doing the same things that I've been doing for years.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, why are their numbers higher than mine? I've been sitting with it, studying it, and just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I know the newness is a factor as well.
Yeah.
Um, so it's so many things, but
Yeah.
I just now I've gotten to the point where I feel like, okay, well, I'll sit with it. If I can have, if I have 2 or 3 students, you know what? Those are 2 or 3 students that's going to get the best damn education I'm going to give
Hmm.
them.
Right.
Right.
That's
Right.
right.
So
Yeah.
that's where I'm sitting with it now. Doesn't help my pockets any or finances, but you
Right.
know, that's just where this.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just where it's
You
at.
know, you know that the tide turns now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because what
Right.
you give, the value you give, even though somebody could copy it, I'm gonna applaud you for being a trailblazer. Somebody got to set it off. Somebody
Right.
got to set it off. But what we do, if we can see that, okay, now what we've built is starting to be almost duplicated,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
almost. That means
Hmm.
we need to sit with our stuff and say, how do we go up higher? We don't
Yes.
remain here. We should go here. So when I look at these programs here, I'm saying, what do they have that has cultivated? They built a culture.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, they do have financial funding, but Paul Mitchell built a culture, and one culture has been off of retail.
Hmm.
And they stuck to their guns. I'm gonna teach color and I'm gonna teach cutting. I'm gonna teach core color and cutting like they've never gotten it before. And that's another reason why they're successful, because those are 2 areas in most cosmetology school educators don't get additional training on.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you teach them basics. But when
Hmm.
Mitchell students come out, they can't do nothing else, but they can cut and color
Hmm.
better than the
Wow.
professional. So
Mm.
even though Cosmo is still in a struggle kind of, and aesthetics is still growing, I would say, okay, for me, what are those areas, Destiny, or how can I build a culture? And it
Hmm.
has been and I got it down here, marketing branding. Is it time for a restructure and a refocus?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Is it
Hmm.
time? You've been in this area for 5 years, and I
Hmm.
just did a move.
Okay.
And y'all, as soon as I did the move, before I can even open up, when I tell you people were stopping by, y'all, when y'all gonna be open? When y'all gonna be doing this and y'all gonna be doing that? And I was like, wow. My students was
Mm-hmm.
like, we gonna Miss Cox, these people are like, really? So they saw us.
Yes. Yes.
So I think I needed to do that. I needed to do that and give something fresh. And when I tell you the morale in the classroom around working and doing services,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because I
Wow.
got more lighting. I just added more
Mhm.
lighting. And sometimes that's all it does. Because I had this nice spa, smooth, these treatment room type things. And, the room was very quiet.
Mhm.
I just needed to shake it up a little bit,
Right. Right.
So yeah,
Wow.
I'm definitely
Mm.
looking at Empire and Paul Mitchell as far as blueprints. I told
Yes.
my somebody today, when I was younger, I told my students, really, I just got off Zoom with them. When I was younger, I've only had 2 jobs other than beauty.
Hmm.
You know,
Wow.
my I started doing hair at 14. When I got 16, I was so tired of doing hair, it's doing a lot.
Mm.
I said, I want a job like my friend. She has a paycheck. I went to
Mm-hmm.
hired. I only lasted 2 weeks, y'all, because I was giving away them people ketchup and food and everything. I was like, I'm going back to hair.
Yeah.
And when I got 18, I got a job my senior year at Target. Target literally, and I went into management at Target once I graduated high school. But Target was a training ground for team development.
Mm.
That was the first time that I learned the art of customer service, just the how to work together as teams, how to market. And Target is like, look, Walmart ain't our competition. Our competition is the mall department stores, Dillard's and
Mm.
Macy's. And that really, I said, if I ever go back anywhere, it'll be Target because people think of Target or Walmart. Who do they choose?
Target.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
of just certain aspects of it. I said, maybe I need to be the Target of beauty schools.
Oh, wow. That's a
You know,
good
I'm
observation.
I'm thinking it, am I
Right.
going back to customer service? Like what
Mm.
what did I love from Target? And can I pull that out in my
Mhm.
school, a part of the restructure? Like, I don't know,
Mm.
guys. That's what I've been writing this on paper. I'm just filling it out, but
Mhm.
that's what I'm thinking. Like, do I have something that I can just ooze out
Mhm.
to, you know, and in this refocus, in this restructure, is it
Mhm.
something that I can ooze out that will attract the people? And so, Naya, you're not by yourself, but when it comes to enrolling my enrollment, I've enrolled 60 people at one time. We've had 60,
Wow.
Wow.
yes, at one time.
Wow.
Wow.
And we had like 6 educators. The more people you
Mhm.
gotta have more workers. And then I've been down as low as 10.
Mhm.
And so what I found recently, just some life things has happened. I'm good with the less than 20.
Okay.
It's just for a season, it works for me.
Mhm.
Right.
In 25, am I growing? Yes, I need to grow. I need to,
Mhm.
instructors got to be paid. I want to get out of this, I'm just restructuring, refocusing. I'm putting more money in the Cosmo program
Mm.
because I want to use my expertise in that program. So I'm going to
Mm.
be a little bit more hands-on, and I just think I'm going to do color boot camps.
Mhm.
Infuse that advanced training into the course
Mhm.
and have a natural texture focus in the Cosmo course.
Mm. Mhm. It
So
sounds exciting.
what do you guys think? Because I think texture is like ain't going nowhere, but the book is Milady has the textbook that most tests are coming out of.
Okay.
But it's 10 years old. And when I talked to the young lady at Milady, she was trying to at the training, she was trying to get us, oh, Deborah was there to tell her more about what needed to be done in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at her, I was like, there's a consultation fee. Why would you try to corner me?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
The whole book got to be redone. The whole book is outdated.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
She
But
said they don't sell enough copies to afford a revisement.
Mm.
Well, it seems like to me, just like when they did barbering, just like when they redone aesthetics, that you look at the trend of, how people are going to school and what's the trend. And that's when you reformulate everything. That's when you reformulate your book. Because at some point you got to know if you haven't did a revision in 20 years, that's what it seems like. It may be even 30, still got yarn braids in there.
right.
Mm.
So it
Correct.
seems like
But
to me that
at
you would
this
look at
class,
those
she
trends.
said that they couldn't go in to revise her book because she's closed off the copyrights and the what she said it was the amendment. So
They
you can't
gotta
do.
pay her to go back. They gotta
Yeah,
pay her
you
to
have to
update
pay
that.
her to go back in, and so I think they were
Oh,
trying to get the information from us to um to make a collage off of all of our information in a
We
little
ain't doing
sneaky
it.
way so that they can go in and ask everybody from state to state, what do you think about the natural hair? Because, at the end, they brought up the African American girl to try to still pull the information. What do you guys think? And I think we all went zombie on her, like, we don't know nothing.
Yeah, because you can't, you're
Oh,
stand to make all of these
slick.
millions off of it and you don't want to pay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was so funny because
and you know
Miss
they sent that
Destiny,
email saying they give you $50.
Miss Destiny,
Huh?
we was talking and you looked at somebody, you said, quiet.
Please be quiet. I know everybody wants that opportunity to say, hey, I've written and stuff like that, but you got to understand, I know what a writer, author, you may not get paid a lot, but it's a couple of zeros, your name, you get recognition. If you invite me to a marketing event and then you swamp me with, what do you think about this, and surveys, I'm not getting any kind of recognition and I'm not getting paid.
That's right.
And I can buy my own gift card.
Yeah.
So that's the part I really didn't too much care for. And then on top of that, I just got a notice that they're going to increase again. The textbooks, which means 2 years in a row, they've done some increasing. And yeah. So I'm kind of like a watchdog on it. Yeah.
I was haven't had to finish what the students signing them out for tonight, but I kind of caught in when you was mentioning something about Paul Mitchell and the culture. I don't know if you were saying about the students come past their test or anything like that.
Yeah, I've had a couple of PM students contact me because our thing is pass after pass after pass.
Right.
And they've contacted me because they've gone 2 times, 3 times, 4 times.
Yeah.
And they can cut and color really good, but they can't pass the exam.
Can't pass it. We just had a girl, one of my instructors, a girl asked her, what did she go to school? Well, she went to nail school, and what was she working at? Because it's 8 out of one school. All of them have failed their test 3 times.
Oh my goodness.
North Carolina just opened up that, usually you had if you took the exam 3 times, you had to go back to school. And North Carolina now says you can take the exam as many times as you need to.
Oh my goodness.
I hate it. Are you trying to kill us?
Right.
Like, if they can't pass it in 3 times, yes, they need to learn more.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. And I do teach them how to take a test, like coming from like my background, test taking strategies, read the questions, read the answers, process of elimination. Yes. One of the answers is stupid. It doesn't even make sense. You have to rationalize, think it through, think like a cop, all those types of techniques. And then just making them really focused, because in Wisconsin, we have 10 Wisconsin law questions. And so if you can get those 10, you probably are going to be tipped into the 75 percentile realm. Right. And so I really focus on the law, and I also focus on, taking a deep dive, being okay if you don't know the answer to something, because they're pulling out of 4 different curriculum in Wisconsin. And so really it's not just Pivot Point or Milady. And so really, just being honest with them, being totally honest with them, and bringing in just like I say, it is show and prove. So having different, I like the fact that I teach in Milady and Pivot Point, and I got some Empire stuff as well. However, telling them, this word is it's just regular polish, but it's also called enamel, varnish, lacquer. One of those on your state board. You might not see where it says varnish. You might get the other word, but your book is only going to be specific to one of them. Yes. So bringing that worldview to the students, and then just really supplementing with other documents that I have amassed from history, not to overwhelm them, but to say, you may need this, synonyms, and, how do you rationalize through this, right? Right. And so I think, it gets boring sometimes, but you got to give that lecture type deal.
Mhm.
I take like 15 minutes every day. We're going to touch on the law, and then we're going to do some, let's have some time where you come up here and you be the teacher, and you here, take these 5 words. Tell us what
Oh
they're all
wow.
about. Mm-hmm.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah.
One of our barbers did that this week. That was awesome. John Nair did that with his barbers. I love that. I think we posted it in the group too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Mhm.
wow.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
And also, just to piggyback on that, with our test, a lot of it they'll have more than one correct answer. And then I have to tell students, think about this. The board is asking you for the best possible choice.
mm-hmm.
And you always need to think about that. And I think that students, I don't know, this day and age, everyone doesn't test well. And that's the
Yeah.
excuse.
But the younger ones, some of them spent their last 2 years of high school online.
Online.
Mhm.
You're right.
Yeah, away, and which took a lot of their reading abilities. Oh, just
Mm-hmm.
one saying, read this, report this, do this, and just log on. But then also you have them that they want. Just tell me what the answer is. It should be just
Oh
one.
my goodness, yes.
It's
But see,
it's multiple things.
one thing we have to remember in Alabama, you have to be 16 or be promoted to the 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you have to just show, get promoted to the 10th grade, how many students um, finish high school with a diploma, but their reading skills still could be at a 8th grade level.
Mm-hmm.
So their comprehension is very, very,
Yeah.
minute. Just because you finish your 12th grade doesn't mean you got comprehension. That
Right.
don't mean you
Correct.
could,
Mm-hmm.
could really, understand this.
That's right.
And that's what we come in like when I do my enrollment,
Mm-hmm.
I have the students and I got this thing about penmanship, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
on handwriting. So I get them to write once I get them to sign in for, enrollment, and I get them to do a little quick essay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, tell me a little bit about you.
Oh,
And
good.
just watching their handwriting, I'd be like, oh my gosh, this gonna be one that doesn't understand
Mm-hmm.
reading, comprehension, just watching the L's,
Mm.
the loop of the L go
Mm-hmm.
down, the D
Mm-hmm.
go backwards. I'm knowing
Mm.
that you got a little signs of dyslexia because your E is going backwards, your
Yeah.
B
Mm-hmm.
going backwards. So,
Mm.
okay, without them knowing that I know just off that
Mm-hmm.
little paragraph that
Mm-hmm.
I have found helped me a lot. So I know how to actually respond to that student. I know not to ask them to do
That
a lot
is
of verbiage
so amazing.
Mm-hmm. It
just
is.
because of how they actually write a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Watch, I tell my instructors, watch the E, watch the B, and the D, and a J, and a
Mm-hmm.
K.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you.
It
So,
tells you.
Mm-hmm.
ladies, what
Mm-hmm.
are we doing about mental health issues in the class?
Mm.
Oh
I'm
my
having
Oh.
some.
goodness.
I'm
Give them a
having
little glass of
trouble.
Before we
wine
start
every
with
morning.
that, I want to say hello, Yolanda, before we start with that. Hey, Yolanda, welcome.
Give them a glass of wine every morning.
I
Let's
wish
take
I
a little
could, but I don't
communion.
even
Let's have
think
a little communion this morning.
I would like to say welcome to everybody. I'm sorry that I'm late. I just had gotten off of a Zoom, obliged to be here, and was listening very well.
It's amazing, friend. I'm so glad to have you in the group. Welcome.
Let me share with y'all right quick. I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had one to break down on me this week mentally.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And so with what she's going through personally,
Mm.
Mhm.
And this is my second year. I hope to tenure this year with high school. I've always taught college. And I'm finding that in itself and anxiety a big issue. So I'm really starting to read and kind of research on best ethics as to that.
Mhm.
So I'm ready to listen to what you all are doing.
I'm worried about, I have a student now. I've had some in the past, but this one is just, it's something every single day. And I don't know, I shouldn't say I'm old school because I'm not that old school, but I'm not from that era. I'm from that era. You don't have a choice. You got to do it and shut up.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I don't understand. And I find myself not being very sympathetic because I don't understand it. I don't
Mhm.
understand how something happens to you. Someone says something to you and that tears up your whole day and you start crying and you can't continue to do what you need to do. Suck it up, move on, and do what you got to do. But I
Mhm.
can't say that, but I'm thinking that. And it probably
Yeah.
shows on my face because I get it all the time. I have days like that. But look, I know I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Mhm.
know, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, Naya, because I just did Beauty Educators Leadership Conference for Tennessee.
Mhm.
We had almost 60 educators on,
Mm-hmm.
and what I did, I had it's a 2 day. We on Zoom for 8 hours,
Wow.
so
Woo.
I had to give it a theme to make it interesting, and it was football. And
Mm.
so I had Gary and I had Ava as coaches. And Ava
Mm.
was our coach when it came to um, Gary was inspiring coach to motivate the educators at the end to get back into the classroom and jump back in.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ava, she's a life coach anyway, but I told her there are so many barriers in the classroom that educators are dealing with that they need to figure it out. And so she literally, we built this note thing, with nerds. And I said, you go forth. And one of those barriers, it was first of all dealing with students who are adult ADHD, dyslexia.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we talked about dealing with those learnings and their learning styles. And then we talked about the mental health and anxiety and things like that. The chat went wild. The
Mm-hmm.
chat lit up. I couldn't even, it was going so fast. And I said,
Mm.
this is something a lot of people are dealing with. And
Yes.
they tell us, put us in a classroom, here's the lesson, teach it, but we don't know how to deal with this. And then the educators are going through stuff we're almost breaking. We
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to deal with it. So what I found, I have right now currently maybe one student, which is a plus that may
Mhm.
be in that area. I know some people have multiple students that deal with that. And
Mhm.
the lack of decision making.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is what I do. I have the word wall,
Mhm.
and it's motivational quotes. And I tell
Mm-hmm.
the students, because they'll get frustrated, and I tell the students, oh, it's okay, go get your word
Mhm.
and take a break. So I'm cool with them having little side breaks, because if
Yes.
you need to do that, I don't need you to ruin the whole atmosphere over here. Go
Mhm.
chill, do what you got to do, come back in 10. And I walked by them the other day. I said, you good? Thumbs up, you good? And they ain't got to speak, but you give me a thumbs up. Okay, you ready to get back going? Or you think you're going to
Mhm.
be gone for the day? That's the
Mhm.
choices. You ready to jump back in or you finna go? You know?
Mhm.
And I have found that the learning style, I look at their learning styles and I say,
Mhm.
okay, this is how I teach this person. I got to tell this person every time to you, this is going to be on the test. Or
Mhm.
I will have to mention, where are you? Come back here.
Mhm.
Mentally, where are you? Come back here. And I have some students, this is their first time, y'all, in an adult establishment around other
Oh.
adults. and
Oh
they have
yeah.
so many questions
Yes.
about life that no one
Yes.
has taught them, but this ain't where we gonna do that.
Right.
So, we may get one or two questions in, but I usually ask that person that's going through the most to give us our
Mhm.
thought. I am totally open to learning more. Like literally, I would love to take a certification.
Mhm. Yeah.
Where
I'm
do we
Yeah.
actually
do that at?
I'm actually current in one, but like I said to you, Destiny, since I've last spoke with you, I'm sorry I'm not showing my face either.
Oh,
I
you're
do
fine.
have
You're fine.
Zoom etiquette, but I'm actually brain mush and I wanted to commune with you guys tonight.
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
I'm
fine.
actually getting ready to finish a training in that
Mm,
in
Mhm.
February. And woo, I tell you, since you last talked with me, you know how I used to teach adult only. I have a
mm-hmm.
DE class with strictly high school students, and I tell you, coming down the pike, you guys have a lot to contend,
Mm,
a whole
Mhm.
lot. And so I think that's something that all of us actually will have to dig in even more so. We're going to find more of that in the classroom.
wow.
Mhm. Yeah. And I definitely have been working with the youth a lot more. I wrote
Mm,
for a grant from one of the foundations for like a youth empowerment summer camp because I'm in the
Hmm.
central city. And so just, dealing with our youth, making sure that they were, really supported. It was so great. I had over 500 parents that wanted their children to come to the summer camp. So I had to have another one. I
wow.
called it a fall camp. However, I also have a nonprofit for the school. So I have a 501(c)(3) where I go out and I do nail technology education in schools and in different types of spaces on a nonprofit level because there needs to be more awareness of the career path as well. And
Oh,
so
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so the foundations, they really, they want to fund education, but they also, want to see our youth have different types of career paths. And so you're 100%, correct. Adding in that mental health piece, or this is the safe space, and then just bringing in like educators to talk about what the cosmetology industry is about. Like, we're not therapists, we're not mandated reporters, but we're
Mm-hmm.
encroaching on that. I just had one of my students
Exactly.
was killed in a domestic violence situation, and it hasn't been 2 years,
Mm,
but almost 2 years. She spent a lot of time with us, and some things, in all honesty, went right over my head, right? Because we have other
mm,
educators, but some things went right
right.
over my head, and I felt so like guilty because she would say, Dr. Potts, I don't ever want to leave you. I want to stay here with you. And I would say, you can't stay here with me because you got to go out there because that's where the money is. And then she came to my Sunday school. So I have Sunday classes for people that might need a little bit more support as far as
Mm-hmm.
academics go. And so, but then, she would come in with like a hat on, maybe some glasses, maybe different kind of makeup. She was beautiful, but that I never picked up on that. And see, she had different relationships with my other educators because they're
Mm,
much younger than me, and they talk about life things as well, and I just wasn't a part of that. And I felt like maybe it was something that I could have done if I had known, and it just really bothered me. So the state wrapped their arms around me and they sent resources. I got, direct connections to
wow.
people. And then one of my other students, my alumni, she just got killed like a month ago, and a car hit her. And so a lot of young women come through our academy,
Yeah.
and so
Tragedy.
it's terrible. And so that grief is there.
Mm-hmm.
However, a lot of times in our society, in our community, these young individuals are getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm,
insane. It's just like, I mean, their lives are cut so short that, and I'm in a central city, and I also do some other work. I work under, I'm a commercial corridor director. So I work underneath like the city. I help about
mm-hmm.
140 small businesses. That's my other job. We do economic development and stuff like that. I do some work with the SBA and stuff like that. But that mental health is such a pivotal piece, because they're
Yes.
going to have people come and dump on them all of their problems when they're
Mm-hmm.
sitting in their chair. And they got to be ready. You can't get up and say, we're going to fight, or, this is what I would do. You got to take the high road.
Right.
And so it's something, that needs to be embedded at the state board level. Like in Illinois, you have to have domestic violence and sexual assault CEUs in order to renew your license. In Wisconsin,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to have any of that. It's good, but we don't have any CEUs for renewal at all.
So in Tennessee, we have the domestic violence certification that we have to take to renew our licenses, educators and licensed professionals. We do that through barberside.com.
Mm.
But
I tell
in
you another one that's good too. We do that human trafficking as well through the
Mhm.
through being a Milady Rise partner. Mine did it through Barbicide as well, Destiny. But
Mhm.
Milady Rise being a partner school with that, um, I actually enjoyed that as part of their certs for first semester. So that's something that you can look into as well.
I'm
Okay.
definitely going. I'm taking notes, actually, y'all, because y'all are helping me when I'm saying restructuring.
Miss Deborah Alexander, did I hear you say when I came in late that you're from Alabama as well?
And
And where are you at in Alabama?
I'm in Birmingham.
You're in Birmingham. I was just on a call with you, do you know a lady named Portia Houston?
Portia Houston. No, not right
Yeah.
off.
Are you teaching at the community college or
No, I
in
have my own private school.
you have your own? Okay, amen. So I would love to get all of y'all information. Especially you. I heard you say some grants, and I'm trying to learn grant writing, but I am in Huntsville, Miss Alexander,
Okay.
and I'm often in Birmingham. So I would love to get your contact information so that we can meet.
Yes, ma'am. No problem.
Yes. No
Awesome, awesome. That's
problem.
what we're all about. I was gonna from
Yes,
when we
Destiny, I love you, Destiny.
Yes.
yeah,
Destiny and I go way back.
it is, don't we? Oh my goodness,
Yes.
who would have ever thought, Yolanda?
I
Right?
know, right? That's what the call that I just left. It's like I was not planning on being on it that long, but I said I gotta go because I want to connect with Destiny, and I actually
Mhm.
sent a link to a couple of people who were in there to you here. So I'm so happy to be abreast of you guys this evening. It's been a
Yeah,
long day today too.
Yeah.
I'm
it
still
is.
at
We're
school.
gonna I really don't we gotta do this again, but
Yeah, come on, little
y'all
baby.
are helping me because when I had to resubmit those CE trainings for Tennessee for 2025,
Hmm.
I told them that these educators need something else. We need some help. And about the mental, just the capacity and the weight of that in the classrooms, that's just still kind of sitting heavy on me. So I think what I can do from my trenches is, I have down here course retention, advanced courses, and what am I adding when we talk about growing and scaling? Y'all, I think
Hmm.
I am going to add a mental health certification or mental health, like a moment that we can talk about. I don't know if it's really considered counseling sessions, but I want,
Hmm.
Well, I think that would be the best way for you to do that because I do have backup in my school for that. But I think in the classroom, like Jenny mentioned, you
Hmm.
know, having I love your word wall when you said that. That brought to me something that I'm gonna do back in their work area. I'm gonna do a
mhm,
check-in is probably what I'll call it, and put
mm,
like different emotions or what have you for them to express, because we do have um at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day we do check-ins, but it's mostly for acquired knowledge as to what we're learning. But
yeah,
I'm going to add that to the feelings well.
hmm
I
Mm.
sometimes do it on
okay,
my classroom It's called Classroom Creation. So I use my TV like that. So when they
Mhm.
come in, it's kind of elementary, but I like it. And
No,
I
those
speak to
adults love
everybody.
it.
Everybody that walks through the door, it's mandated that you have to say good morning. Now they do that, but I get the sense of how they are walking in to kind of
Mhm.
gauge how I'm gonna. But I think I'm gonna use your word wall kind of thing for a end of day kind of check in.
That's
Mhm.
gonna be great. And
And
so,
then having that counselor or somebody to come in.
yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's gonna
Mhm.
be a benefit because I have them lifing for the first time, you know.
Mhm.
I
Mm-hmm.
have them lifing for the first time. So it's a whole lot. And I don't like this. I don't like the motherly, like when they find the older person, I don't allow that because that could just go a whole different way, you know? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do the word wall, but I am going to add something in the way of counseling. But when I do the word wall, is I would take a whole wall in the school and paint it chalkboard color, chalkboard black, and I use different colors. And it's like the students love that, you know, because I send them to the board a lot, even though it's elementary, they're adults, but they still learn the same.
Mhm. That's
Hey,
right.
Dariah, welcome, Dariah.
Hey, Doraya.
Hey,
Hey,
everybody.
How you
Dariah.
doing? Good to hear you.
Oh,
Yeah.
exhausted, but I'm all right.
Yes.
But
We.
yeah, this is good, y'all. And so when I look at number two as far as growing or scaling, I don't know if you guys want to go one by one, but for me, y'all have helped me, and I think I'm definitely going to add more value to my program by addressing some needs that they're going through without, without calling them out, just saying, this is our space, this is where we do this, and if you want to come, we have this available.
Mm-hmm. And so
Yeah.
for me, what I like about you, your restructuring. Now for me, the word restructuring, it means a lot, but it could
Mm,
mean something was not structured. So I gotta
mm.
restructure it. Or, I don't know if there's another word. It's your word though, but it could be like, I don't know, I don't know. But you see what I'm saying? Like,
Well, like right here, sometimes if it wasn't right, we got to do it right. We got to make it right.
that's
So
right.
and under the marketing and branding, I even told somebody today, I don't have
Mm-hmm.
a problem ever having problems saying, okay, that's a
Mm-hmm.
great idea. Let me see if it works over here. Because if
Yes.
you stay in an old place too long, you're gonna miss
Ooh,
miss
yes.
it.
I'm
So
reinventing, I'm imagining, because I'm looking at your
yeah.
website and your new hybrid online cosmetology course. Your website is very, very positive. It's very nice. It's super nice. It looks so, I mean, it's so put together, and you see like different aspects of your program. So it really is like it's looking good. So,
We
how
yeah,
people when
we'll do a new word. What I do want to think, y'all, as far as if we restructure, you think about marketing, branding, I have to think about what areas I didn't that I would like to see my brand.
mm-hmm,
What did I didn't take advantage of in 2024 that
mm-hmm,
maybe I wanted to put more eyes, but 2024 for me was a roller coaster.
oh,
Personally, so I'm surviving and making it, if it looks good, thank you, it looks good. But 2024 was a roller coaster for me. So a lot of things that I would have done in 21 and 22 to help push my brand, I pulled back in
mm,
24 because I needed my mental to be where it needed to be to save my own self. So
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
um, I also have to think as far as marketing, what could I do to put more
mm-hmm,
eyes on my brand?
mm-hmm,
What
mm-hmm,
places could we go that we've never explored before? You know,
mm,
so
mm-hmm.
that
Yeah,
yeah, that's me. And I feel like I can do anything and I can go anywhere.
you can,
So
can.
I'm challenging, you guys too, like as far as marketing and branding for this year, are there any goals of what you would like to do next year more of, or did you experiment with something this year that you liked, or
Yeah.
um, yeah.
So for me, I implemented like a 8-hour nail art certification into the program because we talked about it earlier how people are coming for this nail art, but we still got to
Mm-hmm.
do the theory. And then I also put together some modules where I really want to like glow up with having not like a job service, but placing alumni or helping alumni get in credible salons. Our students already get an LLC. So the government pays for our LLCs because I teach the class in the school. So I
Wow.
vetted that. They get it for free. Yeah, Governor Tony Evers is about education and entrepreneurship. So they all get a free LLC. See, but that doesn't mean that they know how to really operate it because we only have the 300 hours. So I've been really
Right.
struggling with, everybody says, oh, I'm going to go open my business. I'm going to get a salon, a suite. I'm going to go work over there. But these companies are really not hiring them. A lot of these nail salons in our state, they're ma and pa, and they have businesses for their family. And
Mm-hmm.
so I want to have a broader reach for the individuals that are our alumni. So that's why I got the 501c3, not just for our alumni, but there's a gap in the industry in
Yeah.
in maybe in the United States, but in Wisconsin for sure. So that's my goal. And so like my husband is like, well, you're doing too much because you don't need to be a temporary service. You don't have to. So I need to find these salons
Oh
to come out.
wow. That's
Okay, so what you're saying, Jenny, is something that I face and I faced in Florida, and how I did that.
Uh-huh.
Um, like you say, most everyone in our industry, they're just thinking they want to get out and get their own. So
Yes.
I actually was kind of like that person that I do feel like sometimes I am the temporary service that's going out and trying to, pull in place. But what I start doing while you're training your students,
Huh?
make it a part of their training where they have to go out like to three different schools. You get what I'm saying? I mean, salons, you know what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And ask questions, that type of thing, get a connection. And I have found that like when we're trying to get guest speakers and that type of thing, I send my students out to go get those people who they're following locally. And when they are able to come to the school, that's how I connect them and then tell them the need of the industry and what's wrong with our salons in that way. And I place students as job shadowing and that type of thing before they even leave, so they see it's more into owning that business than just sitting down doing that nail. you know it's way more. And for you to sustain and make our industry credible, I would recommend you to go under this person who you built this relationship with at least a year.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah.
And that's work, and it's working for me now even with high schoolers. I'm
Okay.
s- I am
that's
still
good.
reaching out in the community. I look at my community, my area, and I actually deal with two different states now. But I'm looking out and seeing who's reputable. Where I'm at now, I do have a lot of alumni students from all the years that I've been teaching. So I'm trying to tell them this is how you build your business and make it stronger than it just being you. You got to come in, and I think it's all around. We have that disconnect with our industry owners and educating. And
Mm-hmm.
it does take what you've been doing, Jenny, getting out and kind of being that placement person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're
we,
trying.
we're gonna have to do that until we really get it. Start having more conversations like we're doing right now, and
Yeah.
making it known that to the current and up and coming students that it's a lot owning your own business, and you only know so much from that 300 or 200 or 750 or whatever. You need to get a mentor or three or four and shadow these salons. I get it. It's all around, but that's how I've been doing it. And I actually have had great success since I've been here. And in Florida, I definitely did because those hours was very, very short.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right. That's
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
So, say, Jenny, with it being nails, you can add having a career day, where you bring in, reputable salon owners, and advance skills, always work with us. I know y'all are short with
Mhm.
300 hours. So I like with me, we're 600 in Memphis. So it's easier for me to add on the ANT, the MNT, the NMT, as a certification. So I'm adding that on to the curriculum because a lot of the girls, they're
That's
picking
good.
up wanting to do pedicures because these little young nail techs, that social media nail techs are not doing them. So with me offering that as another curriculum, it's bringing more students into the school because they see it as an advanced certification. So, and I
Mm.
teach them, the bigger picture of the nail table. This is not where you make your money. The nail table is not where you make your money. You got to be able to do all things nails, hands, feet, everything, and so opening up their minds to maybe working in the industry with deceased people. That's something we never want to touch on. But I've got
Mm-mm.
2 funeral homes close to me and they are on me every day about, can you send us somebody? Can you send us somebody? So, wanting to,
Oh, that's
I
a
just
it's,
great.
did a set. I just did a set this past Saturday.
yeah, it's something people, are kind of, I get it, some people squirmish, but I'm like, shit, it's the people that's living you have to worry about, not the people that's dead, baby. They not gonna bother you.
That'd be a good field trip.
And
I was
I
gonna say
do it.
that's a
I take
field
my
trip.
students. Yeah, that's a good filter. I take my students. I've taken them. It's hard. It depends on the deceased person. If they family members approve of it or not. But usually, I'll get someone who's requesting me. So I tell them, hey, y'all know I'm an instructor. Can I please make this a teaching moment? And they're like, as long as I don't record, the person's face, they're
Yeah.
fine. So usually that's what I do. And then I let my students come. But I've had a lot of them, and it opens up their mind when they see it actually happening versus you just trying to describe it to them. So that may be another avenue that you want to look into. I know it works for me.
It did
Mhm.
work for me too. I did with my students as well because I still go to the funeral home on request. But I take my students to the funeral home, and one actually landed a contract with all the John Rideouts in Birmingham to do their
Oh
hair.
wow.
Yeah, she ended up got all the contracts, so she goes from funeral home to funeral home, and that's what she do now. Yeah, yeah.
Can you
Love that.
imagine? Like, I
And it's
mean,
it's
we
good
love
money.
our clients because I still work at the table. I love my clients. But could you imagine I having they ain't fussing, they ain't saying nothing. The color is always right. The hand is always like you need it. They be like, can you imagine that
It's the
client?
truth.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm, let me answer this question. Somebody said, because I'm driving, I'm on the highway now. About being the EMT nail technician. What is the protocol for that?
So in Tennessee, that is not under their license, but to go through
Mhm.
that process of becoming a medical nail technician or an advanced medical nail technician, you have to take the classes through the different companies that provide it. So it's like podological, I think that's how you pronounce it. I can't remember. And it's 2 different companies that I would send somebody to. Wouldn't send somebody to anybody else because they've been doing it the longest.
Okay,
Right.
And so it's the state of Tennessee has not picked it up like saying it's a part of our license yet.
okay,
However,
It's not. It's a
however,
cert. It's a cert.
yeah,
it's
it's
a
a
certification.
certification, and
Hmm.
a podiatrist, a licensed podiatrist, has to mentor you to get it. So if you go to a doctor is going to say you're a medical nail technician. Like they don't diminish and belittle the title from us. But if
Okay,
you talk to somebody within our industry of cosmetology, they like, you're just a nail tech. No, I'm not.
okay,
No,
That's
okay,
I'm not.
right. That's
okay.
Well,
Can
right.
you
I
send me the information to the companies that offer that certification?
Say that again.
I said, can you send me the companies that offer the certification?
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because that could be an add-on, like I said, add-on an incentive for the nail technicians to get, because everybody love that piece of paper. Everybody love that piece of paper.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
to add on an incentive for that program. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Definitely. You
Miss
guys,
Deborah, what is the name of your school?
It's healthcare resource.
Hair care resource.
Yes.
All right. And are you on social media or something where I can get your other contact
Yeah,
information?
I'm Deborah Alexander. Or you could go have all lowercase Healthcare Resource Institute.
Okay.
Or you the Deborah Alexander, you'll see the cute girl with the gray hair.
How cute.
All right, y'all. I just wanted to share an overview before we get ready to close out. This has been amazing. We gotta try to do this. I'm glad that we had so many sharing moments. I really got a lot from it. I wanted to share with you some of the things that we have moving forward in 25. As of today, we have 122 members. So
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
so they consist of school owners and leading industry coaches and advisors. And so, pretty much, yes, we have a few individuals who are not school owners, but we look at them as industry coaches or advisors. They have a specialty in the area, kind of like Bill's our directory. And if I know we got financial people, we have um, business people. We have so many individuals, and that's the goal. Is just to it's majority, beauty school owners, but we may have about 10 who are industry coaches and advisors. I do want it to be a place where we can gather and get information. And that information is coined, is pretty much, you already know, that it's good, and I share a lot because I want everybody to see what we have going on. But here's some things for 2025. We're gonna do a board. So we got a board coming up, as far as we need to build a board for 2025 for a lot of what we got going on. I don't know how many members on the board, but we're getting a board, a school and course development. So we will have advanced trainings, master trainings from this group. So if you are a continuing education provider, we would love
Mhm.
to build your trainings as a part of this group. Okay. We want those training, well, we want the trainings to be out of this world. I am seeking an accreditation seal for the group. And really what that does, that is going to bring us into just a more credible status. And you have many companies that have accreditation seals that
Mhm.
with that seal, that certification, that training is not mediocre or subpar. It really becomes the just level of excellence with that seal. And save the date. We have a leadership conference, and pretty much what we've done here, just broken off into, we have classroom sessions. Of course, those counselors and educators and things, I want to come from this group. Okay. So the leadership conference is in Memphis, and it's November 2025.
November the what?
It's where the dates are, let me check. It's 17th and 18th, I believe. Let me check 2025. Yes, it is. No, it's November 16th, 17th. But with our conference, it's probably going to start on Saturday, the 15th. So that'll be like a networking night. So 15th through 17th. And um, preferably all 122 plus even more by the end of the year. Because I've seen some groups have thousands of people in them. So, but as we see more and more of people that look like us that are growing in beauty schools, we have to know that there's has to be a meeting ground. It has to be some common interest somewhere. And I want to show the world that we're not going nowhere. And
Yes.
so that training, that leadership training is going to involve a lot. And I'm not going to be able to do it by myself. It's already been approved for Tennessee continuing education.
Oh,
So
wow.
lot of Tennessee there. I'm working on Atlanta and Kansas and Mississippi now. So I do want to be able to offer continuing education at this event. So your girl's gonna be working on a lot of stuff, but don't hesitate
Yeah.
to
And
hit me.
this continuing education, Destiny, is this for the leaders themselves, correct? Like,
Anyone
okay,
who, yeah, the leadership conference is for anyone who's a school owner, coach, or counselor. So
that's
anyone
what,
within our aspect of beauty. If
mm-hmm.
you're a teacher, you want your staff to be there. You're a director, you want your leadership team to be there. You're an owner, you just want to come for yourself. It's going to be focused on those individuals. So may not be for just the common person who just want. I'm just a hairdresser. You got to have a purpose of one. What so it's really gonna be we want to take 25 not by storm but take over on 25.
Right.
There's so many places, and there are other organizations that don't give like we give. So I just wanted to share that, and I continue to share that as we have successes with each one of these bullet points. But that's our goal, and we'll celebrate in Memphis in November 2025. So I'm excited. Y'all have been amazing. I wish and pray y'all nothing but success. Y'all, we got to do it again, and I got to get my girl Nicole on. So y'all, I'm gonna drop a thank you. Y'all let me know what's a good time, even on a Sunday is good for me early for some people because I know you're preparing for Monday. But what drop some good days or some evenings. And again, I don't have to be the one to initiate it. Anyone in the group that says, hey, we need to get together. That's like an alarm that goes off for everybody to say, okay, I guess we need to get together. Okay. So I'm excited. I'm excited. So thank y'all for coming out. Was somebody gonna say something?
And thank you for doing this, for putting this together. I mean, it's so valuable and you work so hard and we really appreciate you. We
Thank
do.
you. I love you guys. And every time I see you guys, I'm rooting for you. And it just does something special.
Amen.
We're in the middle of something really big, y'all. And I've never seen this before with school ownership. And I've never seen this type of independence with
Mhm.
school ownership. So God is definitely doing something. And we are right in the middle of it. And I just want to keep going until we can't go anymore. And we're just gonna keep on rolling. I'm here to support you in wherever area you need me. You ever need me to jump on a Zoom or call or text, um, man, I've been prayer partners. People have been my prayer partners. This group is amazing. It really helps you get throughout the day in more
And
ways
I'm
than
so glad to hear you say that because I know you tired of me being in your inbox saying I need to call you, but 24 hours run out. So now I'm glad to have been on to even met you, Jenny. I got some questions coming for
yes.
you with a project that I'm working on. As to
Sure.
that, yes, yes. So this has been a blessing, Destiny. I really
It,
appreciate it, and
and
everybody.
Yolanda, we met, and this is why you got to be good to people because Yolanda, we met years and years ago, and who would have ever thought, we met years and years ago, just still in beauty, still in education on two different paths. And here we go again, crossing paths. So I'm excited for you. And, you call me anytime.
That's right. That's right.
Definitely.
Amen.
Y'all have a blessed and amazing evening. Pray
You
nothing but
too.
success for you guys. Y'all be blessed. And
Have a
look,
Thank you, Destiny, and everybody.
Yes.
you.
All right. Have a good one.
Yes.